Part 4, the comparison, the speed, and the performance of the Hive versus Spark. Now here we can see there's a there's the same output for the Hive and the Spark, but the performance is better for the Spark. Yes, there's a large gap between speed and performance of the Spark and the Hive map produce while running the same query. For a screenshot, you can see the Spark being 10 times faster than the HiveQL. So we can conclude that Spark is the Spark speed is recorded. Spark is normally quick when it memorizes info, so it's good for repeating, processing, and fostering than Hive. Hive stores metadata and make from the data sets easy to absence. In memory review, the Spark collection the data from the Hadoop in parallel and the blocks the data included into the memory and receive the data it sent it into a destination. We also found that there's no significant differences. We also found that there is no significant differences in the no significant. We also found that there's no significant differences between CPU using Hive on map prediction on the Coral SQL, the most query, but using Spark SQL memorize is much higher than having on map prediction. It's much higher than the Sparkle SQL to pass Hive to map prediction. Apache Spark process RAM data while Hadoop map reduce the whole data pack on the disk after the map or revision operation. Apache Spark process RAM data. Spark could then, the principle, suppose Hadoop map reduces. Spark needed to have a great deal of memory though, and Spark had a lot processor and memory, much like normal database and holding it until the further notification for catching the purpose. The Spark could be the degraded dramatically if it runs Hadoop yarn, which is the other process that needed, or when the data is too massive to fulfill the memory. On the other hand, map prediction destroyed its process until it does a job and can quickly run along with other services that have slightly variation effectively. But the Spark is the upper hand in the stimulations, while much always passes on the same result, but it works like a light on one part, the data process and data aggregation. For example, in what MapReduce intend for, the Spark works better, particularly in decided cluster where all the data fits in your brain. Data fits your brain, where Hadoop produce optimized from the data which is not similar to comparability and can work well in the other way. The Spark SQL has a pre-built AI for the Java, Scala, and Python, and the Spark basically construction block using the different features are easy to write, including the massive mode for the direct input in executive instruction. Map map views in written in Java, it's very hard to program. Apache big facilities the process, and Apache have introduced SQL compatibility to perform, but it need to be wild to understand the syntax. There is and several Hadoop tools that will run without the program. Spark can be more than a process of simple data. Graphical can also be processing. Spark can both handle real-time process and bath process due to the high effective. The most important Spark and visual helps to not separate activity on multiple platform, but add the difficulty to IT. For batch processing, Hadoop for compared to Hadoop is fine. You must have another framework like Impala or the Apache Storm for the real time use, as Apache Graph is available for the graphical process for the machine learning and map reducing. Map reducing and Apache map reducing has an Apache map out. As compared to MapReduce, how Spark becomes so good at data because it comes a powerful data engine based on the guided acyclic graph, which was means that the tag of the task is generated for each Spark job to executed by the engine in mathematical. The tag is made up of set of variable verticals and guided edges that connected them, and the activities are carrying out for the aggregation of dynamic guideline. And a tag is a map producing only two verticals, one for the map task and other for the reduce task. For the map verticals to reduce vertex, the edge is directed and the spark is extremely powerful thanks for in-memory data process or the tag-based data process engine. So the tag of the task in the Spark can as a complex as it will it wanted to be. Thankfully, Spark includes the utilities that allow you to see the tag in any Spark job that could currently run. In case the word counts and Spark Castle code will resemble the following fragments. This is the end of the topic. Thank you. Thank you so much.